Cost of living has increased across the nation, and Orlando, Florida is no exception. So I made this quick video to give you an idea of how the cost of living is going here in Orlando compared to some other parts of the country. Thank you so much, everyone who has reached out to me about moving to the Orlando area. My name is Krista, and I'm a top realtor here in this area. If you'd like to speak to me, my contact information is below this video along with a link to my calendar, so please feel free to reach out to me. Please also consider subscribing to this video and clicking the like button, as it does help my video to reach other people just like you. Now let's jump into the cost of living in Orlando. The cost of living in Florida in general is about 1% higher than the average across the nation. Let's break that down. So as prices have gone up across the nation, it's been the same here in Orlando. Gas prices have risen everywhere, and they have risen here as well. Gas prices in Orlando today are in the $3.50 to like $3.55 range. We also have discount gas available with memberships to Sam's and BJ's and Costco, and those look to be selling at about $3.25 a day. Rents are up, eggs are expensive, just like everywhere else. But let's talk about what is setting Florida apart. Let's start with taxes. First of all, property taxes in Florida tend to be a little bit lower than in other states. A lot of buyers will ask me, what's the millage rate for this given property? And that's going to depend on what county, what city, or what special tax district the property is located in. Some buyers may also have special discounts available to them. The best way to determine what the property taxes are going to be on any property, and I encourage everyone to do this because I find it very distressing when I'm reading some forum on Facebook and someone is saying that their realtor never told them that their property taxes would go up, and now their mortgage payments have increased like a whole bunch, and it just makes me so sad. The best thing you can do is jump on the property appraiser's website on the home that you're interested in, put in the amount you're going to be paying for the home, and then see if you're going to be getting any discounts. And that will determine approximately what you'll be paying. Keep in mind, if you're moving into the home, that you will be getting a homestead exemption, which in Florida drops the assessed value by $50,000 and also limits how much your taxes can go up year on year. It is extremely important that you file for a homestead exemption if you're going to be living in your home. This is the most important point. So if you're buying a home in the Orlando area and the previous owner, let's say, bought it between the years of like 2009 and 2018, and they have a homestead exemption on it, you're going to see a significant increase in your taxes. And that's because those buyers bought the home at an incredibly discounted price, and they've been protected in how much those taxes can raise year on year. So when you buy it, it's going to leap up because the assessed value is going to jump up to this current market value. Now let's look at sales tax. Sales tax differs from county to county, but tends to be like right around the 7% mark. The state sales tax rate is 6%, and the maximum local sales tax rate is 2%. And most locations in Central Florida are right around that 6.5% to 7%. There is tax on clothing. I know that there are some states where that's not the case. Florida offers a back-to-school tax break also when you can buy school supplies and even computers up to $1,500 and avoid paying sales tax. So you want to watch for that at the end of July and beginning of August. We're going to talk more about taxes later on and some significant savings that you'll also see in Florida. Now let's turn to utilities. Many people ask me when they're looking at a home, they want to know what the current owner's utility bills are. And in a lot of ways, that's kind of useless information, almost like asking what the current owner's taxes are. It depends so much on different usage factors, like how warm or how cold you like to keep your home, how many people are taking showers, doing laundry, how often you water your lawn, that sort of thing. There are not very many days where you're going to be comfortable without your AC on simply due to the humidity. So don't count too much on having that open air breeze. Having said that, you can often get by with very low power usage in the winter, which is great. Other factors that will shape your bills are the quality of your ductwork, the age of the AC, your windows, your insulation, do you have a pool, that sort of thing. You can always call the utility provider and ask for, the last several months of bills, but again, it's going to vary. Generally speaking, a single-story home is going to be a lot less expensive to cool than 2 stories, so do think about that. Natural gas is in some communities, but not in all. So if that's something you're really interested in, like you're a chef and you can't live without a gas stove, this might be something that you want to look into even before you start looking at homes. So take take care of that sort of research while you're looking online. A lot of communities do not have natural gas going into them, and so the only way you will be able to get that gas range, propane tank, which not everybody wants. Another contributing factor to think about is solar. A lot of buyers are really interested in solar, and I'd say, hey, if you can get a home where you don't have to pay off the solar panels, it gets paid at closing, then yes, sure, I think it's a great idea. If the seller is passing that cost on to you, you really need to do some research. Solar is associated with higher insurance premiums, and you also have to pay someone to take the solar panels down and reinstall them if you need to change your roof out. Do some research. Roofing is a big deal in Florida right now with insurance. And if you're a homeowner and you're thinking of putting on solar, I would just say homeowners insurance is of course also a big factor in Florida. And I encourage everyone to shop around and also work on bundling your auto insurance with your homeowners insurance. And we'll talk about auto insurance later. If you aren't buying a super old home, one that's like more than 40 years old or one with a lot of outdated stuff, your insurance isn't going to be astronomical. Now, I'm not going to talk about coastal homes. That's a whole different ballgame. I'm just talking about Central Florida, inland. There are things that you can look out for before you even go under contract in the home that will kind of let you know whether your insurance is going to be viable or not. How old is the roof? Is it less than 15 years old? That's what you need to look out for. How is the wiring? What kind of electrical panels does the home have? There are several brands that just aren't going to be insurable in Florida. Polybutylene plumbing is another big one. It was used up until about the mid-90s. It was inexpensive. Builders loved it. It's gray in color and no one wants to insure it. How old is the water heater? These are all the sort of factors that insurance carriers are going to look at. In some states, you can probably get away with one or more of these issues, but you will really find it difficult to get insurance in Florida due to the smaller number of carriers that we have. Car insurance is among the highest in the nation in Florida. A number of factors led to this. So the number of uninsured drivers in the state is the biggest factor, but we also have a lot of older drivers, a lot of student drivers, a lot of lost tourists looking around, and of course, a lot of bad weather. Florida seems to have actually jumped into the #1 spot for the price of car insurance in 2023, depending where you look. And you will want a car, as Florida does not have a subway system. Obviously, it would be like underwater, it would flood. In Central Florida, we have a Lynx bus system that runs in the city of Orlando and the counties of Orange, Seminole, Osceola, and Lake, as well as parts of Polk and Volusia counties. We also have the Sunrail system, which is a train that runs from Volusia County to Osceola County. However, most commuters are car drivers, so if you are moving here, maybe call your insurance provider ahead of time and find out those insurance quotes for your car. I did read that Central Florida food costs are higher than the national average, but honestly, I kind of found the data a bit confusing and I gave up kind of trying to understand the figures as I read. Like every article seemed to have like a different spin. It goes without saying, I think, that the touristy sections of Central Florida, for instance, International Drive, are probably a lot more expensive than the suburbs where most people will be eating and living. But in the suburbs, you also won't be watching a jousting competition while you eat or experiencing all of those fun, touristy, gimmicky restaurants, which are fun to go to now and then, but yeah, pricey. But hey, it's not all grim. Keep in mind that Florida has no state income tax, which helps to attract new people to the state in hopes of saving money. If you're a person with a relatively high income, you're of course going to stand to save more. And you will also be able to save money on things like winter clothing and boots, and that is very often not an insignificant amount of money. In any case, do your research and please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much for watching.